Hello and welcome to the Guitar Collection. Today I'm sharing with you a guitar made by the English luthier Philip Woodfield from the year 2016. Now before I tell you more about this guitar and play passages on it for you to better know it, I have to say that there are sometimes instruments that from behind I feel everything. It has everything. And then I listen back to the recording and I think, wow, it's rather muddy. Or, wow, that's picking up a lot of my nail noise. Or, geez, that's on the bright side. I felt dark. That is really dark instrument from behind. It's a very fascinating process. I have to say I feel lucky to do this because I learn a lot about instruments and I get better at predicting which ones will sound better in which scenarios. But on this guitar and on other Woodfields that I've recorded in the past, I have to say that I am always surprised at how amazing it sounds in the recordings. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I'm talking purely about the sound of the instrument. When I was testing the mics today and I was checking to see if the levels were correct and these things, when I'm listening back, I'm just like, wow, this thing sounds incredible. It sounds like this sea of sound coming from the instrument. I mean, when I play these opening chords, right? I really don't think it gets much better than that. And then the melodies come in. You know, you have all this depth and rumbling in the bass. And then the trebles come in, right? And they just have this glow and presence to them. And this sustain that just allows you to be as free as you want with vibrato. It just has so much character to it. And now when I listen back to these recordings, I'm like, that's a Woodfield. And also, I noticed this when I hear many of the famous guitarists that perform and record on his guitar. So I definitely see why. Where to go from here? Well, let's start by talking a little bit about the instrument. This is a spruce top guitar with lattice bracing. And this is his grand concert model, where you'll notice a raised fingerboard on this side of the instrument, but not on this side. Do you see that? It's a very cool design. And of course, you don't need the raised fingerboard on this side. You're not going to be reaching over the top unless you've got some really cool tricks to show us. You only need it up here. And I'm actually not quite sure why he does that, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And it makes it very easy to play up here. By the way, it's not just a slight raised fingerboard, it's quite a bit. Other interesting features about this guitar, I mean, for one, you can actually see a little bit of the lattice bracing through the top of the guitar. Now, these lights are pretty bright in this room, so if they weren't so bright, you wouldn't see it. But that is very interesting. It's a very thin top. And maybe this is what helps it be so resonant and have so much volume and power to push the sound. Well, let's flip it around. I have to show you this Cocobolo back, which is really a sight to behold. It's such a beautiful looking guitar. And there's some wear to the polish here and there where you rest your chest against it. But nothing looks terrible here. There's little marks here and there, maybe from a magnetic guitar support here. This guitar has been played, but it's obviously been taken care of. There's little marks in the top, but nothing that gouges into it. When you feel the back of the neck on this guitar, You can tell Philip finishes this with some sort of oil finish. It doesn't feel like French polish or polyurethane. And I have to say, your fingers slide along it very well. It's slick, yet you still feel the wood. So you feel this nice connection to the instrument. Moving on up to the headstock, you'll see Philip Woodfield's classic design here. Rogers tuners, which are incredibly smooth on this guitar. You have to love Rogers. These things are top of the line. And they even guitars that I have from the late 90s that have Rogers on them, the tuners still feel amazing. So such a cool thing. Now looking here at the rosette, a very interesting thing is a little bit of a, I'll say like a mini tournevis here, which you'll see on, every Woodfield that I've seen has had this, but there's this little piece of wood that you wouldn't even notice that maybe goes a half an inch into the sound hole. And maybe this contributes a little bit to the depth of the sound. That just grumbles and roars at you. It's really nice, but very nice design on this guitar. And gosh, I think I've covered most of the specs here. Now I have to say, Woodfield guitars are very in demand. There are more and more great players picking them up, young players as well, that are very new on the scene and really taking the classical guitar world by storm. So check out, if you search Philip Woodfield guitars, you'll find some of these players. And they're fantastic recordings on these instruments. There's so many. Scott Tennant played these guitars for many, many years. And yeah, so they are very hard to come by. I feel like I'm stalling a lot in this video, but I hope you guys don't mind the longer format here. Let me play a little bit on each of the strings of this guitar so you can get to better know it. I feel like you just have to hear this guitar. Wow, I said all of this, and it just clicked in my mind that I did not talk about the colors on this instrument, which might be the most talked about thing about guitars. Like, oh, is it colorful? What does it really mean? Can you access things easily? Can you change colors easily? And are the colors actually appealing? Some guitars you play ponticello, meaning near the bridge here, and it just sounds like a worse version of playing over the sound hole, to be honest with you. On this guitar, it is profound. In the middle of playing a passage, in fact, I'll bring up the one I was just playing here. You can just turn on a dime and make something bright and clear and just pleasant. Let me show you what I mean. If I'm coming from this spot. See, I chose that one note and it shined that I played it bright, right? Maybe I'll choose two notes this time. Everything changes on a dime. Right? Listen how you have this incredible brightness balanced by this bass. It just makes you feel like you're playing, wow, makes you feel like you're playing a piano, but in such a guitaristic way. Wow, well, I am gushing a bit over this guitar. I think it is such a music-making machine. And, well, if you're watching this video now, it may very well still be available. So definitely check it out at guitarcollection.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm always uploading videos like these on different interesting instruments. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks.